All right, pleased to have at the podium the Fighting Illini, led by Chris Tamas in his 8th season. He's led the Illini to 4 NCAA appearances. He's joined to his right by Caroline Barnes, senior Libero, who led this team in digs last season, and to the far right, Raina Terry, graduate student, outside hitter, who is poised to become the all-time aces leader for the Illini this season. Chris, we'll let you open it up with a comment.
Yeah, year 8, great to be here. Thanks again for everyone for supporting our sport. Just came back from Paris, watched the Olympics, and the game internationally is awesome. I think it's you guys help catapult USA volleyball in that regard as well. So I do appreciate that from all the media that are here, and looking forward to a great season with the team. And as mentioned, we've made several tournament runs. We've been in the top half of the Big Ten, but it's not good enough for us, and we want to get back to the top. And the last couple of years we've just kind of been dealt with the injury bug a little bit, and we get another shot, and that's all you can ask for. And the conference is going to be as good as ever, and we welcome that challenge. And so we got just a great opportunity this year to do some really great things on the court. I'm really happy with how the spring went and how the summer, from what I hear, has developed. And I got 2 great players next to me that are going to help us get to where we want to go.
So we'll open it up to questions. Just a reminder, please, again, your name and affiliation, and to those on the podium, just make sure you speak into the mic. Thank you.
How's it going, Coach? Pete for a Big Ten Plus. As you stated, you just got back from Paris. Any lessons that you took from your experience there that you brought back to your players, or stories or interactions to motivate and say, okay, this is something I saw there, something I learned there, a conversation I had that is something that's applicable for now in your team?
Yeah, we got to hang out with Jordan a little bit. They had some time in between their games, which was awesome. So after they played their game against Serbia, I got to hang out with Jordan and her family a little bit, and just kind of got some inner workings with what was happening there. And I was talking to our players at breakfast, and it's a lot of the things that we talk about as well. And so I think the lessons that we learn, and kind of either what we see in the court or what we know from behind the scenes, is we're on the right track, and we're on the messages that we relay to the team are similar to what you hear at the highest level. It's just about getting out there and executing it and trying to be better than you were the year before. And in our case, maybe a little bit healthier than we were the year before or a couple years before. So I think those are the biggest things, and it's always just about perseverance and getting back out there. And you got it's 3 sets by 2 points, marathon ran by a bunch of sprints. Try to be better than the next team, and by the next point every time you get out there. So a lot of the same lessons, and it was an exciting place to be, and as Big Ten's going to be exciting this year as well.
Zeno Joe from Atlanta Inquirer. You talked about how the injury bug sort of hit you guys hard past few seasons. How's that doing this year?
Yeah, don't comment on what's going on, just as a generality, but it's been good. I mean, we got a lot more depth this year. That was one of the things that we wanted to do, was get more depth, and we did. And we got a lot more players that are able to either play different positions. We got a lot more depth in other positions where we've gotten knocked out in the last few years. And so if something does happen, we do have other players that are able to step in. And the gym's been very competitive from what I understand in the summer. And I'm looking forward to getting in the gym with them. I asked them this morning, what are you guys looking forward to? Just, hey, coaches being back in there and being able to get after it together. And so we're looking forward to that.
Brent from the Lincoln Journal-Star. Chris, when did you get back, and how are you feeling?
Last night, and lots of coffee and fine.
What's that like? What's that experience like to watch your former players, to watch so many Big Ten players, and then players as old as Jordan Larson?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's really interesting in that our career kind of expands over a lot of the national team. And Jen, my wife, played with Jordan back when my wife was still in the gym, and Jordan was just a young pup in that gym. And so we were able to talk with a lot of them. We coached Justine when we were at Nebraska, and obviously Jordan at Illinois. And you got so many players that are from the Big Ten that are there competing. It's no surprise to us that are in this conference, because we're used to those environments. In those arenas, it was 10, 11,000 plus each game. It's much like we faced in the Big Ten, and it's great to see all the Big Ten that's represented. But yeah, it's just, I think volleyball's always been a great sport in that regard, and there's a lot of intertwining either with USA Volleyball competing here in the Big Ten. These players know each other from the club days, so it goes way back, and it's always just what's really kept my passion for the sport as well, and we're just looking forward to keep being a part of it.
Aaron Ferguson, Wisconsin State Journal. Caroline, you've returned a lot of serves in your time. What is the most difficult serve to return and why?
I would say a nasty float serve is going to be harder than anything else, in my opinion. You never know where it's going. It has a lot of movement. We have a lot of players in our conference who, like Raina included, who have honed that skill a lot. So definitely a lot of pressure, and yeah.
Lincoln Arneal, Volleyball Mag. Raina, take me through the process of deciding to come back for your last year. I mean, was it a tough decision? What kind of factored into it? What are you looking to get out of this year?
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and my answer is the same every time. It was probably the easiest decision I've ever made in my life. I'm very fortunate that I have such a great coaching staff that made that decision so easy, and such great teammates that made that decision so easy for me. But yeah, it was a super easy decision.
Chris, you added 2 setters from the portal. When you're looking at the portal at setters specifically, what are you looking for, and what appealed to you about the 2 that you got?
Yeah, we always want to have enough, like I said, positions that we're able to run with, and making sure if we did get hit with the injury bug, heaven forbid, that we've got enough positions. But I think every position you're looking for that something that you want out of that position, obviously, and as setters. We want setters that are good under pressure. We want setters that are good with their location. We want setters that are really great teammates, great leaders, and just kind of going through the list of who was available in that kind of the portal opening. Found 2 great ones in Reagan and Vivian, and helped support Brooke in her role setting as well. And they each have a little bit of match experience too, and I think that's also great when you're looking at setters.
Chris, the Big Ten got a lot bigger. How does these 4 new West Coast teams affect not only your job in terms of recruiting and scheduling, but your players as well?
It makes it, I think, almost the same. I mean, it's not that these teams are way better, way worse. It's the same. You're just going to add 4 more that are also very good. The difficulty, I think, is going to be for a lot of teams is, one, the other question we always got, or maybe last year, how are you going to handle the travel? Well, we didn't know until actually got the schedule, a couple months ago. And to be honest with you, I think it's, that, a couple trips might be a little bit tougher than the other ones, but it's going to be relatively the same. I think during the season, you're always trying to figure out how much can I practice? How much do we need to rest? How much do we need to recover to get ready for this next big-time matches? There's no match that you can just show up and just waltz into and be like, oh, yeah, we've got so-and-so tonight, no problem. No, every match you have to show up for, and it's been that way for ever since I've been in it, really. And every year the conference has gotten better. The quote-unquote weaker teams traditionally have now gotten better too, and I just think you're seeing some really great volleyball night in and night out. And so we'll handle it the same. The big difference is you don't get a return shot on a lot of them. I think that's going to be the interesting thing moving forward, because you could catch someone at the beginning of the season when you're on a roll, and maybe there's an injury somewhere, and all of a sudden someone's out, and that could kind of change, how that rolls. So again, the big thing for us is going to remain healthy. That's going to remain the same thing for everyone, and making sure you're hitting those rest recovery cycles well, and just be really prepared to adjust your systems and your styles, or to execute as best you can any environment that you're in that night, because you're only going to see them once, with the exception of a few teams. And I think that's going to be probably the biggest challenge a lot of us are going to face, besides maybe just the amount of travel that we have to do.
Alana Goldman, 5 wins. Caroline, you've had sisters play at a very high level. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about how that's pushed you as a player, and if your perspective has changed now that you're in your 4th year.
Yeah, I have 2 older sisters that played. One was at Marquette, one was at Wisconsin. It was incredible to grow up to watch them play. They are such good role models for work ethic, and my one sister is a national championship. How much cooler, or a national champion? How much cooler could that get? So that was an incredible experience to go through with her when I was a freshman and she was a super senior.